Welcome back to Bow News Network. We are taking a look at some really severe weather in the region of the Texas Panhandle, as well as Oklahoma City, Kansas, as well as the area in the region of Nebraska. So if you're new to this channel, please go ahead by all means and smash that like button and also subscribe. We bring regular daily, sometimes even twice daily, depending on the severity of the weather. We actually bring these updates to you directly. So here we are with storms with intense winds and hail pretty much plaguing the region of Kansas as well as Oklahoma. Powerful supercells at the Texas border. Here we are with satellite imagery actually in the region of Kansas, and we saw some really heavy thunderstorm activity, as well as damaging gusting high winds, as well as hail reports in the region of Kansas. This is actually right in between the region of Nebraska and as well as Texas. If we take a closer look at our Doppler radar here, we can actually see some actual local spotter reports of funnel clouds in the region of Great Bend as well as Salina. Also, we're taking a closer look here at actual reports of hail in the region of Leon-Bethal as well as Russell. The thing with this Doppler report here is that we had some severe weather, very powerful supercells that were actually touching down in the region. Here we have local spot reports of flash flood, and that's just only just recently here. Many of these supercells were providing an opportunity of very high hail in the region, large hail in the region of a half an inch to an inch, and we can actually see in the region of Russell and that area that was a severe amount of precipitation, cloud cover. This was actually spot on to the region based on the satellite imagery that we were watching in the area just north, actually northwest of Wichita, Kansas. Just a severe amount of really heavy weather in that region, and we anticipate that going into Thursday there will be additional heavy rainfall in this region with the potential for more supercell formation. What's actually happening is that we actually have severe storms being formed in Nebraska as well as Kansas and northeast Colorado. There's actually a weak boundary in the region of North Kansas, and it's producing quite a bit of hail and thunderstorm activity near this boundary. There's ample moisture coming up into this region also, and also enough convective potential energy to really cause a lot of issues for the region of the border along Oklahoma as well as Kansas. So if we take a closer look also here at the weather, we saw severe touchdown activity of weather in the region of Lubbock, Texas, Plainview. This area has been completely saturated with very severe weather. We're talking about very close to the border of New Mexico, but West Texas in the region of Lubbock and Amarillo, as well as Palisades area of Texas. We had actually a tornado warning in that region, and it has been a pretty turbulent degree of severe weather in the region of central northwest central Texas, going into Oklahoma, going into Kansas. Kansas saw a lot of the very severe weather in the region. We anticipate going forward into Thursday that a lot of this weather will actually swing further up into the area of Missouri, northern Arkansas. We anticipate that even in the region of Iowa, And so the residents of that region should be prepared for significant and severe supercell formation or storms with very, very intense winds and hail in the next 24 to 48 hours. This is just a sneak peek into the possibility of what will actually happen for even further deeper into the Great Plains states. There is a severe advisory at this time for the region of Kansas and Nebraska, simply because of the very ample convective available energy as well as moisture in the plain states, and we anticipate additional further energy from that's interacting with a trough in that region. If we take a closer look here, also at the Storm Prediction Center reports, we see that this area, primarily right on the border between Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas, has in a very, very, very high level of severe storm activity risk. Kearney, Nebraska, North Platte, Nebraska, Hastings, Nebraska, Hayes, Kansas, Great Bend, Kansas is all under the radar right now for severe weather. As far as an enhanced zone, you see that it actually dips into southern Kansas, but actually kind of overlaps into the border of Wyoming as well as Nebraska and even South Dakota. So we see Lincoln, Nebraska, possibly enhanced risk for Topeka, Kansas, Salina, Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas, and Grand Island, Nebraska. And then we see additional alerts for those cells that we saw along the northwestern section of Texas, all the way into northern Wyoming. And then we also see that there's going to be risk for residents of Baltimore, Washington, as well as Philadelphia going into the latter part of tonight. But if we take a closer look at some of the temperatures across the country, we see that there's quite a bit of a heating trend in the southwest. We see temperatures in the mid-90s for Arizona, New Mexico, as well as Southern California. It did cool down a bit in the southeast, but we anticipate that there will be a slight warming trend before we anticipate possibly a cold front moving in to the eastern third of the United States that will interact with that region. But we're seeing temperatures here in the region of the upper 70s for Miami. We see for Atlanta 84 degrees, Dallas 82. We see in the region of even Seattle in the mid 70s, and in that region. So we are taking a closer look at the country. There is still a cool patch of weather in the region of Montana and Idaho Falls, as well as northern Wyoming. And here we are entering June, and we're still dealing with flurries here and there at different terrains of terrain, elevations of terrain. Here we have our what's called CAPE value for predictive weather, and we take a closer look at this as an index to see severity of weather, and we can see that there's severe amount of convective available energy in the region of northern Texas, Oklahoma, as well as Nebraska. It extends all the way down to Laredo, Texas, and that entire region is pretty much primed for severe thunderstorm activity simply because of the ample moisture as well as the shearing force at higher upper levels. We even see from our storm helicity model, we see that that area kind of overlaps with the Cape and our Cape forecast, and we can see squalls going all the way up to South Dakota, Nebraska, central Nebraska, as well as Kansas. But keep in mind, going into the next 24 hours, we anticipate that wave of severe weather will sort of shift eastward and more into the states of Iowa, even on the border of Iowa and Illinois, Minnesota, and Missouri should anticipate severe weather going in. But these are very, very powerful supercells, folks, going into that region. And as we have an advisory for Kansas and Nebraska, like we said, that trough or a low pressure system will start shifting its way further into the east, and it's going to start bringing a lot of severe thunderstorm activity in the region of the Central Plains, Northern Plains states. So we anticipate going forward that that's going to be a really, really heavy hiccup as far as severe weather going forward into the next 24 hours or so. But as far as the rest of the country, we can see from our precipitation model here that severe weather also impacted the states of Pennsylvania as well as New York, upstate New York, even as far northeast as Maine and New Hampshire received severe weather for going forward, and they will continue to receive additional thunderstorm activity, very, very high gusting winds, also potential for hail. It all has to do with the ample moisture that's in their environment, not only in the region of the Great Plains states, but also in the Northeast. And as we can see from the temperatures, it's relatively dry all the way out in the Southwest. Temperatures in the mid-90s for regions such as central Arizona, southern California, Nevada. Very, very warm, very, very hot temperatures in that region. So we're going to actually be continuing to monitor the situation in this region. We anticipate severe weather in the next 24 hours. So as always here at BOW News Network, BOW TV, we will continue to monitor the situation with the weather and actually bring you the latest information regarding severe weather events in the region going forward for the remainder of this week. But do keep in mind, we anticipate more severe weather